Hello, today we're looking at conversions of metric units. So we're going to start off with this page of exercises, and I'll take you through the conversions for linear, area, and volume. So we start off with the conversion chart for the metric units, using the phrase King Henry died and mother didn't care much to remember the prefixes that we use. The chart that we use, however, is much simpler. Now, if you take a look at the way that things are here, kilo stands for 1,000, hecto is 100, deca is 10. The basic units could be meters, liters, or grams in this spot. Decimeters is a tenth of a meter, hundredths, and thousandths for centi and milli. Now, by using this chart, it allows us to make the conversions without having to do any heavy-duty calculations. Let's take the first example. How many meters are there in 3.12 kilometers? So we're converting from kilometers to meters, which would be 1, 2, 3 steps to the right, which, as you see here, means you have to multiply 3.12 by 1,000, because each of these multiplications, or each of these unit conversions, is a multiplication by 10. But because all we're doing is multiplying by powers of 10 and it's the metric system, it just means we have to slide the decimal 3 places to the right. You fill in the blank with a 0. So the answer is 3,120 meters in 3.12 kilometers. And again, if you remember that each kilometer is 1,000 meters, that should make sense. Now, another one. If a field is 18,763 centimeters long, let's find the length in hectometers. So now we're going from centimeters to hectometers. 4 units to the left. And that would be dividing by 10 for all of these, which, as I said before, we don't have to worry about doing the calculation because it's a matter of just sliding the decimal. So the decimal in 18763 is at the far right, and we're going to slide it 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. Notice we count the number of jumps. So our answer is 1.8763 hectometers. And again, hectometers would be 100 meters. Next one. Area units are a little bit different because they're in square units. So basically that means we do the same kind of routine, but we have to move the decimal twice the number of decimal places. The example here is converting square meters to square centimeters. Well, 7.2 square meters to centimeters is going to be from meters to square centimeters, 2 units to the right. But because it's exponents of 2, we will be moving the decimal 2 places, so that would actually be times 100 for each of these steps. Again, more difficult to remember, just have to remember to slide the decimal twice as many places. So multiplying by 10,000 is the same thing as sliding the decimal 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill in with the zeros, and that means there are 720, well, there's the answer already there, 72,000 centimeters squared in 7.2 square meters. And when you're thinking about this, this is the equivalent of saying that we've got the length and the width, both of them converted by a factor of 10. 100, sorry. That's why we have 4 decimal places to move it. Next question. Backyard has an area of 26,400 square decimeters. And what's the area in square hectometers? So this is a movement 3 steps to the left, which means the decimal is going to move 6 places to the left. So it's starting off on the far right. Whoops, got this wrong number here. 26400. And it's got to be moved 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. You fill in the 0 here, and we like the 0 out as a blocker in front. So your answer is 0.0264. Don't need those extra zeros at the end anymore. And this is going to be in square hectometers. Whoops, hectometers. Now, volume units. The exponents in volume is 3. Well, what do you think? Instead of moving the decimal 1 unit for every step, we're going to move it 3 times the number of decimal places. So, quick example here, the closet's volume is 3.27 cubic meters. Let's find the volume in cubic centimeters. So that's a jump from cubic meters to cubic centimeters. And we move it decimal 3 places for every step. So it's going to be 6 places, right? This is times 1,000. And so it's going to be times 1,000,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. Fill in the 4 zeros required. So that would be 3, 2, 7, 4 zeros. And that would be 3,270,000 cubic centimeters. Again, it's not a very practical measurement for volume of a closet. Okay, now there's one more type of measurement that we have for volume, and it's called capacity, and that's measured in liters or milliliters, centiliters. And so using a conversion that 1 cubic centimeter, okay, and I'll try and draw it almost to scale here. A cubic centimeter is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. That's equal to 1 milliliter. I think that's about a teaspoon. Anyways, it's a liquid measure, okay, so you would think of how much liquid could fit inside of a cube like that. So we set up our regular volume chart, and we have another chart for capacity. Now the capacity chart, even though it's a measure of liquid, this is going to work in a linear fashion. What I mean by that is the volume one has 3 times the number of decimal places when you move the decimal, but the linear one, or at least the capacity one, is only 1 times the number of decimal places. And if you look at these as, let's say, a bus line, and let's make a train line, okay? Train line, and the other one is a bus line. This basically says that the train goes 1 step for every 3 steps on the bus line. Anyways, I won't get too complicated about that. We can discuss that more in class. But what I'm trying to do here is show you that we can convert from cubic units, which is volume, to capacity units, which are liters. And we'll take the first example. It says, what is the capacity of a can in liters that has 355 cubic centimeters? Well, we need to convert from cubic centimeters to liters. Here's cubic centimeters, here's liters. So we could actually jump across at milliliters and then go over to liters. But it's easier to convert first to cubic decimeters. Okay, so we convert this to, move the decimal to the left 3 places, 1, 2, 3, so 0.355 decimeters cubed. And then it's a direct jump across to liters, so that's going to be 0.355 decimeters cubed is equal to 0.355 liters. Which, by the way, is the volume of a soft drink can. So the answer is 0.355 liters. And we'll just try one more of these, okay? Let's follow the path that shows that 98 million cubic millimeters is equal to 9.8 decaliters. Well, let's find out where cubic millimeters is. Let me erase this stuff here. When you make your chart on a question, you want to put it in pen so you can actually draw and erase and stuff like that over it without messing it up. So I'm trying to follow the path that shows 98 million cubic millimeters, and I need to go to 9.8 decaliters. Now, this is going to be a 3-step problem. You have a couple of choices. I could take the train 1 stop to the left, transfer over to the bus, and go 4 stops on the bus. Or I could try this in reverse, or not really in reverse, but I could take the train further and go 2 stops on the train and then cross over to the bus line and take 1 stop on the bus. Either way, it's going to work. And if you're looking at this, this would be a multiplication, or a division by 1,000, a division by 1,000, and after you cross over another division by 10. So that means you'd actually move the decimal 7 places to the left. So the best way of doing this, I'll rewrite it nicely here. Well, just write it down so I can mess it up. And I'm going to transfer the decimal 7 places. 3, 6, 7 places. So that means it's going to be 9.8 deciliters. And notice, by the way, there is no direct transfer point to deciliters on that chart, so that's why we had to do it in 2 stages or whatever. It's 2 or 3 steps along the way. So I hope that you understand that, and there will be an assignment in class that we can work on to practice this. And if you wanted a couple of questions to practice with, you can look at the next page here, and there's a couple of conversions. You can pause, look at these examples, try them out there for linear and then area, and then another section where we have conversions for volume units and capacity units. And you can even see there that I have an option for a couple of other kinds of units: mass, volume, area, pressure. Okay, these are other kinds of units. You could also have time, as you know, you have milliseconds and things like that you can transfer. All right, thanks. I hope that explains it, and I'll see you tomorrow.